Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media, and welcome to episode 7 of Shelf Space. This is the series where I take 3 pieces of my physical media collection and I ask the question, is it worth the shelf space or not? So today we are going to look through 3 movies. 2 of them are brand new releases. We have Panic Room, Dog Day Afternoon, and Heretic from A24. So lots to get through, so let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into episode 7 of Shelf Space. Alright, let's start off with a brand new release. This is Panic Room, the long-awaited 4K Steelbook release of Panic Room at that. So this is from 2002, directed by David Fincher, and I did see this one in theaters. I vividly remember going to the theaters with my friends, and my dad had to stay and watch because they wouldn't let us into the movie because it was an R-rated film. So he had to sit back and watch it with us, which just never happened. So that's why it stands out to me. But yeah, this one, I actually revisited this after seeing it in theaters. I saw it 11 years ago, almost to the day when I watched this one the last time. So even though it feels like it hasn't been that long, it has been quite a while since I rewatched this one. But with Panic Room, this is a home invasion movie, and really, it's kind of what got my love for the home invasion film really going, at least one of the movies. But this one has Jodie Foster in our matriarch role. She is recently divorced from her husband, who is very wealthy, and she is moving into this new apartment, or I guess it's an apartment, it's a giant apartment in the city in New York. I don't know exactly where at in New York, but it is a huge place, very expensive, and within there is a panic room, the titular panic room. And so whenever somebody breaks in, you go into the panic room, and the idea is that nobody can get in. So that's what we're dealing with here. Well, the first night, and I totally forgot that this happened on the very first night they were there are some people that are going to break in. That is Jared Leto's character and Forrest Whitaker and Dwight Yoakam. Those 3 are going to break in and try to take money that they believe is in the house. But where's the money going to be? Of course, it's in the panic room, and so that is going to cause some chaos there. So basically, it's a movie of, will they survive? Will they get the money? What's going to happen? It's a home invasion thriller, so you have a good idea of what this is. And frankly, you've probably already seen it because it's a very popular movie. But I didn't even mention that Kristen Stewart plays the little child in this. She is our main little girl. She's actually diabetic, and so of course that is going to play a role in this movie as well. But I think Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster do a great job together. They felt very believable as a mother-daughter couple, and their relationship, the way it's built, doesn't take a lot of building in the beginning, but I bought in right from the start, and so I cared about their outcome, right? I cared about whether they would live or die throughout the rest of the movie. So I think that's super important, even though it's done in such a quick way. It just works, and maybe it's because I've seen the film multiple times. That also plays a role in there. But yeah, I love this movie. It is so good. Fincher is able to do these, do something with the camera here that you don't really see done that often, and it's almost like the character is is an extra character in this, because it is moving through the house. It goes up through the different levels of the house, because I believe this is a 3-level apartment or home, and the camera is just going up and down throughout the house at various moments. You're going like into electronics at points, like into the outlets in the wall, just different areas throughout the house this camera goes. And now a lot of this, of course, is going to be CGI, but I think what's remarkable about it is just how well it holds up now, even 23 years after the fact. And especially now on 4K, because obviously you're just going to get more detail. It holds up remarkably well, that CGI and those special effects. So well done job to David Fincher and his crew. I think why this one works so well for me, though, is just because the action starts so quickly in there, and it doesn't really let up throughout the entire runtime. Yes, we have 2 people that are stuck in this panic room for the vast majority of the film, but still they manage to have different moments within that keep it exciting and keep it interesting. And so I think the biggest thing I can say about this movie is that it's never slow, even though it is basically a one-location film, but it just doesn't feel like that. It feels a lot bigger and broader than that. And I think that's a nod to the excellent acting in this, because all of the actors just do such a great job, plus the awesome awesome directing by Fincher. So as for the 4K itself, the reviews on this one I've seen have been a little bit mixed, but frankly, when you think back to the only other way we could have bought this was a DVD version of this, then yes, this is an awesome upgrade. And any of the flaws that people have pointed out, you have to source it back to or trace it back rather to the source material. This is really the best this movie is ever going to look. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this had a full new 4K scan and everything. It doesn't say on the back of the box here, but I remember reading something about that before this one came out, and I think they did just a great job with this. The characters don't look waxy, so there's been not a ton of DNR applied. There may have been a tiny amount, but it wasn't anything distracting or noticeable. It's not going to be, James Cameron levels on some of his recent releases. I think Fincher just does a really nice job with this transfer, or, the company that put this transfer together, I think did a really nice job. And the question now, of course, is Panic Room worth the shelf space? Well, first off, I am going to give Panic Room from 2002 4 out of 5 stars. I love this movie, and it holds up every time I watch it. But is this worth the shelf space? Absolutely. But the real question is around the previous releases, which of course I own. So I have both the 3-disc special edition release, which is just packed with bonus features, and the Superbit DVD release of this, which is supposed to look better. Now, frankly, I don't remember which one I owned first, but I know I haven't watched both of these. I found one for super cheap at Disc Replay, so I decided to pick it up. But yeah, for the big question at hand, though, is it worth holding on to these two now that this 4K is out? And frankly, no, it's not, because all of these special features that are listed on the back of this DVD box are also included on the Blu-rays in the 4K release. So there's really no reason to hold on to these anymore other than nostalgia. And quite frankly, I might hold on to the Superbit DVD just because it's a Superbit and that's just fun. But the 3-disc special edition, which takes up a heck of a lot more space, that one will probably be leaving the collection. So yes, I am more than thrilled with this release of Panic Room, and you can see the special features listed on the back there. But the 4K Steelbook itself just looks awesome. There is the back of that one, so you can see that, and then the whole front and the back, and then you have all the discs on the inside, and I'll take off this side here just so you can see the Steelbook itself. So I just think this is a really nice looking Steelbook, one of my favorite pickups from last month. So as I already said, is Panic Room worth the shelf space? Oh, you bet. It absolutely is, and I highly recommend you going out and picking up this 4K if you are a big fan of this movie. Let's move over now to an older release that I happened to pick up last month because it was on sale on Amazon. So I finally picked up Dog Day Afternoon and watched it, because I did own this one on DVD as well, actually in the snapper case, which is still sealed. And I did pick this one up brand new from Big Lots for $3. That was like a decade or more ago now. But anyway, I decided to upgrade it, and I ended up watching it the night it came in. So Dog Day Afternoon is from 1975, directed by Sidney Lumet, and starring Al Pacino, and it is an absolute masterclass when it comes to acting. Not just Al Pacino, though he does lead the way, and he is perfection in this. But alongside him, we have his partner, who is played by Cazale. I cannot remember his first name. John Cazale, there it is. And there's just something about this character that is off. And it's really hard to pinpoint what it is, but the way he portrays it is excellent. Such a well-acted film, really. And not even just our two main characters. We have all of the heist victims, and you have all the police force. It is just, Lance Henriksen plays a minor role in this that is very important as the film plays on. Like, just excellent acting across the board. Really, that's my biggest takeaway from this. But let me backtrack a little bit. Dog Day Afternoon, if you're not aware of what this is based on a true story, and it is the story of a bank robbery gone wrong. Our two main characters rob this bank, and things just go awry from there, and it's going to be a big standoff situation, and so on and so forth. But there's so many different elements to this that I just had no idea were coming. Number one, I didn't expect the humor in this at all. This is there is very funny moments in this, especially in that first half of the film. It's like awkward almost how funny it is, because it just doesn't feel like the type of movie I put in, but it absolutely is. I just didn't realize it. And then there are LGBTQ plus aspects to this as well, which again, given the fact that it's from the 70s, not something at all that I would have expected. Now, mind you, they do portray the transgender character that's in this as basically there's a mental illness going on, is how they treat it. And so it's a different type of representation for it. But just the fact that this was in here is just fascinating to me. And again, just completely unexpected. But really, the big standout is the acting in this, and then Sidney Lumet's directing. The way he does the sound design in this movie is incredible. The whole finale, if I'm not mistaken, like leading up to the climax of the film, basically all you're getting are these sounds, because there's an airport involved. You're getting the sounds of an airport, and they overtake almost even the dialogue, but done intentionally, and you can still understand what's going on. But it just overtakes the film, and it just puts you there as the viewer, and it's just so good. The way he does this is amazing. Like, movies like these are just reminders of why film is so incredible, so transformative, and just so fun to sit through. I'm so glad I finally got around to watching this one. I already mentioned the side characters in here, but I loved the characters that work in the bank. There's one older man who leads everything. He's the bank manager, and then there are the tellers, the lead teller, and they, along with the crowd on the outside, almost are cheering them on, essentially, for some of this. Even though the tellers are scared, they realize that these people, or they assume anyway, based on their interactions, that these people are not going to hurt them, and they kind of go from there. But just the interactions they have. At one point, Al Pacino's character gives one of the hostage, the tellers, gives her his gun, and is trying to show him this thing that he learned from the military. Like, just completely out of left field, but works so well. The fact that Pacino was a former bank employee, it also plays into this, so he kind of knows where things are going and what people are doing as they're trying to hit like the little security button, trying to give him fake money, things like that. And so I just love those little aspects of this, which again, because it's based on a true story, are all probably real things. Now, there is a second disc on here, it's the DVD, and it is a full documentary about the real story, but I'm sorry, no, the documentary is about John Cazale, but I believe there are special features on here about the real story, which I did watch some of the special features, but not all of them. I watched whatever was on the Blu-ray. It's just a 4-part making of, and that was fascinating as well. But yeah, there's so much to unwrap here, but basically at the end of the day, you need to see this movie. If you have any interest in heist films at all, this is excellent. And it's so much more than that though, because of the interesting characterizations that are going on here. Again, with the LGBTQ plus aspect to it, the humor aspect to it, like just things that you don't expect from a heist movie like this, a bank robbery movie. But it's so good. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Like, it's just an amazing film. I loved this one so much. So I am going to give Dog Day Afternoon 4.5 out of 5 stars, which actually, that's what I gave Panic Room also. I think I said 4 by mistake, but hopefully I corrected myself. So we have 2 4.5 star films here so far. This is excellent. And is Dog Day Afternoon worth the shelf space? 100% worth the shelf space. If this gets a 4K upgrade, I will absolutely upgrade it, but it does look great on this Blu-ray. Now, what is leaving the collection is this snapper case DVD. Now, I know the big talk right now is about the Warner Brothers disc rot issue, and this one was listed on the list, but I believe it's the special edition release of it and not this release. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's not worth very much, so I might just open it up and check it before I end up selling it, or I don't know what I'll do. But yeah, the DVD does not need to be in the collection anymore because I'm happy to have this incredible Blu-ray of it. You guys, I can't stress it enough. Dog Day Afternoon is excellent. If you haven't seen it, you need to. It's so good. So let's move now over to the latest release that I've picked up from A24. This is Heretic from 2024, and this one is directed by Scott Brick and Brian Woods. This movie was fascinating. So basically, we are following our 2 Mormon characters here. They are going door to door. Of course, this is in Utah, the Mormon capital of the world. And they are going door to door to talk to people about their religion. And they end up at the doorstep of Hugh Jackman's character, which is not Hugh Jackman. Oh my gosh, Hugh Grant's character. Completely wrong person.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
They end up at his doorstep, and of course, things are going to go wrong from there, I guess I'll say, because I don't want to give any spoilers, of course. But yeah, this was a very intelligent film. At least it's trying to be a very intelligent film, and whether it succeeded or not is going to be completely up to you. But I found it pretty profound for what they were doing here. I love the discussion of religion that is at play throughout this entire film. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? The philosophical questions like that are really what drives this movie. And Hugh Grant's character claims to have found the one true religion, which you kind of is revealed as the movie plays on. But just it doesn't, and I've heard some complaints about it because that people have said that it doesn't say enough because it doesn't want to offend anybody, but I don't think that this necessarily needed to be successful. I think the message that they're trying to portray, which frankly, I probably don't have fully grasped yet because I'm just not that intelligent, but the idea that I get from this is just kind of taking a look at religion and asking questions. It's not saying one way is right or wrong. It's just simply asking questions. And I feel like that's kind of the driving force behind this, are those questions that should be asked when it comes to religion. Now, that said, if we just look at the film itself, the acting, the directing, the set design, oh my God, the set design on this is incredible. They built the set that this house that this plays out in, and it is so detailed. And they actually have a special feature on here that talks about that a little bit. And just the detail in the set design is so incredible. Hugh Grant helped, kind of establish what books might be in his house or what things might be in his house, given who his character is. And all of those things made it in, according to Hugh Grant on the special features. And I think that really just helps make this a more memorable, a more lived in feel. And it's one of the aspects I really loved about it. Not only that, you have some awesome sound design on this as well. You have some really cool use of licensed music in this, which I'm always a sucker for. A little bit of Radiohead in here. But yeah, the acting, though, I think is really where this one shines. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, they do a great job. I think, I believe this is Chloe East, I think, in the pink there. She is incredible throughout this. I feel like her character is asked to do a little bit more than Sophie Thatcher's character, but that's not to take anything away from what Thatcher did. I think she did excellent as well, but it's just there's more emotion involved with Chloe East's character, and I think she just handles that masterfully. She does a wonderful job in this. And then Hugh Grant, what do we know Hugh Grant from mostly, right? Rom-coms. That's kind of what he made his name with. And so watching him go from something like that over to this is just such a big leap, but he handles it so well. There was never a moment where I questioned if Hugh Grant was the right actor for this. Like the casting on this, they just did such a great job. This is such an interesting film from start to finish. It has been compared to some other movies, which I don't really want to talk about because I feel like that could be spoiler territory, and go into this as blind as you can, which is how I'm trying to be extremely vague, because I think there's so much to uncover and to learn throughout this, not just the characters, but the house itself, the secrets of the house, and then really what the story is with the religious aspect of it that they're trying to drive home. I just thought it was fascinating. It really caught me right from the get-go because we have these two Mormon characters, these two young women, we're talking about an adult film that one of them was watching. It's just completely unexpected, right from literally like the first lines of dialogue. And that really drew me in and thought, this is going to be something interesting. This is going to be different. And it really is. And so this is just such a unique movie that I highly recommend if you have not seen it. So this is another one. I am going to give Heretic, I'll give this one 4 out of 5 stars, but I feel like on repeat viewings, I will understand it better and I will appreciate it more. So is Heretic worth the shelf space? 100%. It absolutely is. I ended up going with the 4K release from A24, and it's just great. There's not a ton of special features on here. I think I went through all of them outside of the commentary track. Yeah, there's a commentary by the directors, and I didn't watch those, but I did watch the others, and I thought they were just interesting. They're not super revelatory. It's going to be a lot of talking head pieces like you would expect in a lot of behind-the-scenes featurettes, but still, what's there? It's worth watching. And as someone who really enjoyed the film, I appreciated it. So Heretic is absolutely staying in the collection. All right, so episode 7 of Shelf Space is in the books, and we have 3 more that are staying in the collection, but there are 3 that could be leaving the collection because I just don't need them anymore. Like I said, I might hold on to that Super Bit DVD, but otherwise there's 2 for sure that are going to be leaving the collection. So I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Have you seen any of these 3 movies? If so, what did you think of them? Was I completely off base in your opinion? Let me know what your thoughts are on that and anything else down in the comments below. I have 2 more movies sitting right next to me that I'm ready to talk about, but I need to watch one more movie, and I'm trying to theme that episode. It's going to be Disney themed. I guess I'll spoil that. So I need to watch one more Disney movie in my collection that I've just not spent time with yet, and then you'll have the episode 8 of Shelf Space. But hopefully you guys enjoy these, and I would love any feedback down in the comments below. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for checking this one out and making it all the way to the end here. That really means a lot to me. But that said, before I let you go, I'll just encourage you all to consume some media today. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you all next time.